Good morning, you guys, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 4. So today is Sunday. I don't know what I'm gonna do today. I'm thinking maybe I'll do a little self-care or a little maintenance because after watching 3 of these vlogs, I realized that my eyebrows look a little crazy. I'm really trying to still work on my skin. My hair has progressively reverted since Thanksgiving. If you watch the Thanksgiving vlog, you see how my hair was in that vlog, which was overdue for it to get done anyways, but I haven't done my hair since then. So now I'm at the point of putting it in ponytails, which, if you know, when you get to that point of ponytails, there's like no returning to wearing your hair out. So I need to do my hair. I actually got something in the mail yesterday that maybe I'll unbox today or tomorrow for my hair, because I have to do something with this. I can't come on camera for 25 days with my hair in a ponytail and with a headband on.
You guess anything particular reveals something. And the ultimate truth is,
they are crazy.
My masculine man, you're
I was really guided and supported.
So like I mentioned earlier, it is time to do these brows. I let them get, I was gonna say a little overgrown, but they're really overgrown. I haven't done my eyebrows in forever, and I do them myself at home. I don't go and get them done. I just don't see the point. I don't have like amazing brows, but I don't have crazy brows that I can't manage myself, and I don't really care that much about brows. So the way that I do my brows at home is I pluck the hairs that I don't want there, obviously, and then I use a razor to clean up the shape and to really get the hairs that I miss. And also, half the time I just don't feel like plucking every brow hair, so I pluck the main ones that I really want gone and that really are like not supposed to be there, and then I just use a razor to, like I said, clean up the shape and to get things looking cohesive and nice. And then that's it. It's pretty simple. So I'm gonna start off by washing my face. I'm just gonna use my facial soap, clean that off, and then get started. Okay, so now that my brows are clean and looking crazier than they did before, I'm just gonna take an eyebrow brush or an eyebrow spoolie brush. It's just this double-ended eyebrow spoolie and eyebrow brush, but it's the number 20. So I'm just gonna use that to brush my brows up and a little bit over, but mostly up. Nothing major. And I didn't put anything on my brows. You don't have to put lotion or anything on it to do your brows. And then the next thing that I do is I grab my tweezer. So this is the Tweezerman slanted tweezer. I've had this tweezer for a long time, a few years actually, and I heard that you can send your tweezers back to Tweezerman and they'll sharpen them for you. I haven't done that. I haven't really felt the need to because they're not really dull, and I only use these tweezers for my brows. I also have another tweezer from Tweezerman. I actually got it in a twin pack. I believe this is a mini tweezer, and I also have a pointy tweezer. So they're the same size, same color and everything. They came in a duo. But I don't really use that one for my brows because it's pointy. So all I'm doing now is just plucking out the spare hairs. I already know what shape that I like, and I know which hairs to pull for the most part because I've been shaping and getting my eyebrows done for years. So you just pull out the hairs that are outside of where you want them. So what I do is I usually start on the tail end and then I move in. Only because I don't want to accidentally pull hairs that I actually want to keep, and I feel like this is the most important area to me. Like, I really don't want to mess up on this part. This part I don't really care for. It's already thinner, my personal eyebrows. It's already thinner over here. I have to fill them in with makeup when I wear makeup anyway, so I'm just tweezing the hairs. And these are hairs that are like obviously not where I want them to be. I actually used to only razor my brows and I didn't tweeze them at all. I never liked tweezing. I still don't like tweezing because why put myself through tweezing if I don't have to, you know? But tweezing your brows really isn't that bad. It's not that painful. It's not painful at all, really. It's just a little prick. But the reason why I started implementing tweezing my brows as well as razoring them, is because when you tweeze them, the hairs that are tweezed take way longer to come back than the hairs that you razor. The hairs that you razor, they're only being cut right at the skin. So that's why in a few days, in less than a week, your brows will start growing in where they were razored. Whereas your brows where you pluck them, they came out from the root, so it takes a lot longer for the hair follicle to regrow a new strand of hair. So you don't have to tweeze every single hair, but you want to tweeze the majority. I want to show you guys the difference between my brows. So if you can see, this brow is the one that I tweezed already. I only tweezed from about here to here, so not much. It's not a major difference yet, but I'm just showing you. I tweezed the hairs from underneath the brow, just in this section alone. And over here, I didn't tweeze yet, so you can see there's still some hairs that are out of place over here. Especially I can see them here. So that's what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna continue plucking underneath the brow. That's the main part that I even do. I mainly pluck under the brow. The area on top, I don't really pluck. That's mostly what I reserve for the blade, but you'll see. And a lot of times it helps a lot to really just hold your skin taut, just so it's not moving around. So I know that with my brows, I like to really get rid of some of this under here. Not too much, because I don't want thin brows, but I do like thin brows. I'm not one of those people that likes to keep a bushy brow. Now, I'm not talking about like a 90s brow. No, I don't want that at all. But I do want a nice, like sleek, shaped brow. I just think it suits my face best. That doesn't mean it's for everyone. It just means that's what I like to see on my face. And also, don't be too concerned if you see little specks of blood. It's not that big of a deal. You're literally pulling out hair follicles, so there's gonna be a little bit of blood. Nothing crazy at all. You just wipe it with your finger. Okay, so now that I finished the underside of this brow, like I said, I wasn't planning on doing a lot, but I did get rid of a lot under there. If you compare the two, you can definitely see a difference. You know how people put highlighter on their brows, under the brows, to highlight the brow bone? That's what we're looking to clear up. So as you can see, I have a lot more space here for that brow bone highlight versus here where I still have a lot of eyebrow hairs that we're eventually gonna get rid of. So now that I'm done with the underside of that brow, I'm gonna work a little bit on the top, nothing crazy, because like I said, I leave a lot of the top work to the razor. I just don't even bother. And the main reason for that is because with the tweezers, like I said, it's not painless, but it's very minimal pain, but the hairs on the top, you definitely feel more when you're plucking them out versus the hairs on the bottom. It's easier to pull those hairs out without feeling anything versus the hairs on the top. So on the top, I'm only tweezing the hairs that I really like want gone, and I want them gone for a long time. And the other reason why I'm really careful with tweezing the top is because this is really where you're gonna see your brow. And this is really where you have room for mistakes and errors. I've done it before where I've tweezed or razored too much on the top, and that's really where you see like a bad brow is on the top. So you really want to be careful. I don't really take that much off of the top. Just the hairs that are like really out of place. Like for example, my brows here, right at the arch, I've always, my entire life, I've always had like a really high, I won't even say that it's a high arch, but I have hairs that go up a little bit right at the arch. When I was a kid, it was like really noticeable, but as I've gotten older, it kind of just blends in with my brow, but I still notice it. So I take a little bit off. I use a little bit of it to my advantage because that's where I can have the arch. So instead of taking all of it off, I will take some more from under. That's why I take so much from here, so that it naturally gives me that arch in my brow. And the other thing that you want to be conscious of is the direction that you're tweezing. Don't forget you want to tweeze in this direction. So you want to tweeze with the grain of the hair, meaning you want to pull it in the direction that the hair is growing. You don't want to rip it the opposite way. There's no reason for that, and it's really bad because of a few reasons, but you can get ingrown hairs that way. It just hurts more that way. It's just way easier. You can just rest your hand on your face and you can pluck like this, or you can do it just like this. That's how I do it. Okay, so this is all I'm doing to this brow. As you can see, it's not a major difference. And on top of that, I already have like kind of light eyebrow hairs. They're a little bit sparse, they're a little bit light. It's always been that way. It's not from over plucking, I promise. I don't do my brows that much. But we just have a nice shape. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Don't mind the dry skin, but this is the brow that we just did. And this is the original brow undone. So now we're just doing the same thing on the other side that we did on this side. Should be easy peasy lemon squeezy. And don't forget that you're trying to match your initial brow. So sometimes I have a bad habit of under plucking the second brow. I don't know why, but this has happened before. It just happened to me just now. I was about to be basically finished, and then I looked back at this brow and I said, no, remember I gave myself all of that brow bone space here. I need to match it on this side. So I do need to pluck a little bit more. I was just being a little modest, but for no reason, because I needed to match that brow. So we're just gonna pluck a few more hairs. So the razor that I use is just one of these. It's just the razor from the beauty supply store, nothing fancy at all. The only thing you want to make sure is that it is clean, new, whatever. It needs to be clean though. If you've used it once before, that's fine. If you used it twice, that sometimes is okay, but it definitely needs to be clean. And all you're doing is following the shape that you already have there. You're just cleaning it up. Even if it looks like you're razoring something that's not there, it's still gonna help with the shape. So what you do is, again, you're gonna hold your brow taut just so the skin doesn't move around. And the great thing about these razors is that it's a straight line. So this is a straight line of your brow. All you're doing is making this motion to go down, and you're not touching your brow. You're stopping right at the brow. But trust me, it's getting rid of the hairs that you can't really see. It's really sharpening the shape of your brows. So once you do that, I just wipe it off, and then I get underneath a little bit. Again, you're not really razoring anything off because you've plucked most of it away. And then underneath, this is the dangerous area. This, you can leave it alone. You can go back to tweezing, or you can use the razor to very carefully razor any hairs that you might have missed. And that's all I do. So now we're gonna do the other brow, just the same motion. I don't know if you guys can see with the angle of my hand, but it's just the same motion of dragging it, and you're very lightly placing this razor on your skin. You don't wanna cut yourself. I don't even know if these are capable to like really give yourself a real cut, but you definitely want to be careful because it is a real razor. And if you're using like a straight razor, you really need to be careful. And like I said, under here, we're just very carefully. You see how there's, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hair right there sticking out. That's what we are just gonna, just so it's in line. And usually this is where I've messed up my brows, so I'm overly cautious with this. The final thing that we're gonna do is trim our brows. So I have this little mini scissor. If you've ever gotten a makeup kit and you got a mini scissor, this is what it's generally for. So we're gonna use the spoolie that we used in the beginning. We're just gonna rebrush our brows up, only up. And then what I do is I have the spoolie in one hand, the scissors in the other, because you might need to rebrush the brows back up. And you're just gonna trim the ends of the hair, as in the tips of the hair. Same thing over here. If you can see, there's hairs that are above the brow line. That's what you're trimming off. You're not really cutting, you're just trimming. And you just trim it in a straight line. And there. And so now what that does is no matter which way your brows move, there won't be hairs that are sticking out of your brow line. One other thing to note about the mini scissor and brow spoolie combo is that you want to have the scissors in your dominant hand. Your dominant hand is what's doing the work, so you really want to make sure you don't mess up with the scissors. The spoolie, you'll get the hang of it, all you're doing is brushing, but the most important thing is making sure you have the scissors that are doing the work in your dominant hand. So mine are in my right hand, I'm right-handed, so that's what we're doing. If you have exceptionally thin or sparse brows, you might not want to even trim the ends because you're probably going to want as much hair there as possible. But if you have just average brows, you do want to trim the ends. It'll make everything look neater in the end, I promise. And like I said, if your brows move for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe you wipe your face or you just woke up or something, your brows will still look like they're shaped because the brow hairs aren't so long, so they won't look out of place. Okay, so that's pretty much it with my brows. I personally am fine with my brows like this. I don't do anything special. I'm going to moisturize my skin so that they look better. I'm putting the tiniest amount of moisturizer on my brows just to help you guys see them a little bit better. This is a very plain moisturizer. If you saw my skincare routine video, I use the Ordinary Natural Moisturizing Factors plus hyaluronic acid, and I'm just putting a dab of that. It's not something that's going to break out my skin, so I personally feel comfortable with putting this on my brows. If you have sensitive skin, I think I would suggest that you don't put anything on your brows until a few hours later. So I'm just putting a little bit here and I'm just rubbing it in. And even back when I used to get my eyebrows threaded, I've only gotten my eyebrows waxed once ever my entire life. But I used to get my eyebrows threaded every now and then. I didn't even do that very frequently, but when I did, they used to always ask if you want to, they didn't even ask. They would come up to you and just put the stuff on your brows. And when I learned that they would be doing that, I used to have to tell them, like, please don't put anything on my skin. First of all, I didn't know what they were using. Second of all, I always assumed it was an oil and maybe a fragrance. So I was like, I don't want that on my skin right after you pulled hairs out and my hair follicles are exposed. So personally, I opt out of that. But as you can see, my eyebrows are not twins. As people say, your eyebrows should be sisters, not twins. So they're not gonna look identical to each other, it's fine. My brow on this side has more hairs than the one on this side. That's just how my brows grow. This one has more hairs on the tail here, and this one is a little bit more sparse. But like I said, I fill in my brows. Nothing crazy, but I do fill in my brows when I go out and I have makeup on. It's nothing that I overpluck, that's just how my brows are. But I think my brows look perfect. This is how I do them every single time. Exactly, like down to the T. Those are all the steps that I follow. Those are all the products and tools that I use. I hope that this video helped you in some sort of way, whether you just learned something and you're gonna apply it to the way that you already do your brows, or if you actually learned how to do brows. Let me know in the comments below. So I really love how my brows came out. I love the arch and the shape that they have. I think they're perfect for my face, and this is just how I'm used to seeing my brows. I really hope that you guys enjoyed Vlogmas Day 4. If you stuck around and watched Day 1, Day 2, Day 3, and now Day 4, you're the real MVP. Please give this video a thumbs up. I will really appreciate if you comment and tell me, how do you get your brows done? Do you do your brows in the first place? If you do you wax them? Do you get them threaded? Do you tweeze them? Do you razor them at home? Do you just let them live freely? And if you learned anything from this video, also let me know. I am so appreciative that you took your time to watch this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. I am posting daily vlogs because it's Vlogmas every single day until Christmas.
It feels like Christmas. It feels lovely. It feels like Christmas. Feels so lovely.